What's up and welcome back to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Little delayed satisfaction there. A little wrong camera cut there. Of course, I am Tim Geddes and I am joined by, for the very first time on this show, Lucy James.
Very first time with you?
With me.
I was going to say, I was like, I was here maybe 6 days ago.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I'll say, but I am joined for the first time with you, which I'm very excited about because I was robbed last week. I specifically asked to do the show with you, and then Greg was like, no. You're going to LA. Lucy will have to wait. But here we are.
Game.
Exactly.
Some would say this is the superior pairing.
That's what I'm thinking. We have to prove it during the show. That you think we're going to up to the task?
Easy.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How you doing?
Really good. You know, you've been out there doing a lot of things, a lot of cool stuff.
I know.
Gamespot right now, whole new slate of content.
Yes.
You wrote a comic book.
I did.
Want to talk about that for a sec?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad because this is exactly what I did last time. I'm sorry.
You're here again, man. I'm asking.
No, thank you. I mean, yeah, it's weird because also I'm very British and I'm really bad at self-promotion and I'm fed up of my own face right now. But no, I mean, Gamespot stuff, we have a whole slate of new programming. We had the first week go up last week, which went down really well. Thank you to everyone at home. If you watched, tuned in, did anything, like shared it.
I watched the Kurt Locker. It was great.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad we've got Kurt, like his own regular show because he is such talent. Today's episode is all about the In Defense of the 6 out of 10. Which is, I love a good few games that are the classic epitome of the 6 out of 10.
We've been here, like the swimming in sevens, Michael Huber's always talking about. We're fans of that, but damn, y'all are going down to the 6s. I respect that.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't have to be a 7.
Yeah.
So we have like this whole, all these
You're a
new
6
programming.
sicko. What we're gonna call you.
I'm gonna write right now, and we'll give you 10%.
Thank you.
So we have all these shows launched, and Tam and I have Spot On, which people seem to react really well to.
Perfect name.
Thank you. And then I wrote a comic book, and everything just seemed to coalesce and come out in the same week.
It's a great week. Fantastic week. Where can people get the book?
It's available now on Even Closer. I'm sorry.
Let me actually.
Gotta love the big dog.
It doesn't help that I have the longest neck.
I think it does though. You can get close.
Yeah, but then I'd have to like lean down like a giraffe at a watering hole.
What a great energy already, everybody. It's Tuesday. But yeah, where can people get the comic?
It's available on Kindle right now. It's going to be in stores May 10th. Octobriana and the Underground, Full Tilt Boogie Part 1. And then Tam's story is in Part 2, which is coming out in a couple months.
Hell yes. Well, everybody, go support that and go check that out. But know that right now you are here on Games Daily, where we're about to talk about no new Switch hardware this year, Starfield's M rating, and more. Of course, this happens every single weekday live at 10 a.m. on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames and youtube.com/kindafunnygames. If you want to get it as a podcast, you can search your favorite podcast service for Kinda Funny Games Daily, and we will be right there for you. You can correct us when we get stuff wrong live during the show by going to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can still be part of the show by going to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in your questions and comments and all of that stuff. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get the show ad-free and a whole bevy of bonus content, a whole bunch of great shows like Kinda Feudy, Remember Blank. It's a great time for everybody. If you haven't watched those shows, I highly recommend you go over to Patreon and check them out. But if you don't have any bucks to toss our way over on Patreon, that is okay. When you're buying games on the Epic Game Store, use our Epic code KindaFunny, and at no extra cost to you, we get some money. It's great. Everybody wins, especially us. It's fantastic. To be part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in all your stuff. And yeah, little housekeeping for you, Lucy. A new Kinda Funny podcast is up where we talk about a mistake that changed my life forever.
In a good way or a bad way?
A horrible way. Very terrible. Very terrible. You're going to have to go check out youtube.com/kindafunny for that one. And then after this, we're trying something new where we're doing a little post show, a little 30-minute breakdown where we hang out with Andy Cortez or Mike Howard. I'm not sure exactly who's coming out today, but it's going to be a great time. We'll answer your super chats. You can go over on YouTube, super chat about questions and news stories from this show or any video game stuff you want to ask. Or since we got Lucy, any questions you have for Lucy James. Over on Patreon, the newest episode of the Shit List is up with us breaking down the top 10 best Zelda games. It's a great episode, and thank you to our Patreon producer, Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, but I will tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 4 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Kevin Coelho was behind this camera over here adjusting, heard me go into the intro and ran his ass back and made it just in time. What is it like for you to be around Kevin?
I love Kevin.
It's special, right?
You know what? He just has such an energy that I love and appreciate. And it's just, also last time I was here, Mike was over there stretching out the leg. It's such a great vibe in here.
Kind of funny, baby. Kind of funny. Let's start with story number 1. Nintendo reports Switch sales slow down and suggests no new hardware this year. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. Nintendo has reported a slowdown in Switch hardware sales and suggested that no new hardware will release before April 2024. The company's now sold 125.62 million Switch consoles as of March 31st, up from the 122.5 million, but year-end console sales have declined by 22%. In its results for the end of its fiscal year, Nintendo confirmed it had sold a total of 17.97 consoles during the 12-month period, which means it's missed its year start sales target of 21 million and laid a revised target of 18 million, coming in just shy of that one. The company forecasts it will sell 15 million consoles during the current fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024, which represents a further 16.5% decline as Switch enters a significant slowdown during its 7th year on the market. Speaking on a call after the results, Nintendo president reported that, he reportedly suggested that amid slowing console sales, Nintendo isn't completely confident in hitting its next 15 million target. According to Bloomberg, Furukawa added that no new or upgraded hardware is factored into Nintendo's annual forecast. Sustaining the Switch's sales momentum will be difficult in its 7th year. Our goal of selling 15 million units this fiscal year is a bit of a stretch, but we will do our best to bolster demand going into the holiday season so that we can achieve that goal. It's also been reported that development of new Nintendo hardware is progressing well. That's according to Nikkei Asia source, who the publication claims is close to the platform holder. Development seems to be progressing well, they said, but a product launch won't happen before next spring at the earliest. I'm going to stop there before we get into all the software sales stuff. Any of this surprise you? Any takeaways?
No, but then this is the GTA 5 thing, where at this point, who doesn't have a copy of GTA 5? And at this point, who doesn't have a Switch who wants a Switch? Especially with, it's 7 years. And it's a pretty reasonably priced console. A lot of incredible games on there, especially if you're a Nintendo fan. I think, it's just going to continue to slow down. Especially because right now the conversation around Switch as hardware is, it is old. It is
7 years old.
7 years old. At this point, it's a couple generations behind, power-wise, battery-wise. Yeah, it's got the little OLED refresh, which is lovely. And you can get the Zelda OLED and all of the special edition ones, whatever. But it's not a shiny new piece of kit anymore.
Exactly, and I think we always talk about how Nintendo has the unique factor to them of the family side of things, and especially with how Nintendo consoles, especially now with the Switch, is both a handheld and a house device, that multiple members of the house end up wanting one, and I feel like that is the perfect use case for the Switch Lite coming out of the Switch OLED, where some of the more potentially mature players will be like, oh, I'll buy the new OLED and I'll give my old one to the little brother or whatever it is, or I'm going to buy this light so the kid can play on the couch or whatever it is. So I feel like there's a lot of good reasons, and especially with the amount of multiplayer games that are fun with one Switch, but also the ones that are fun with multiple Switches. So I feel like they're potentially even tapping out of that audience at this point so late in the game.
Oh, yeah. And at the same time, I think one thing with multiple Switch in a family thing, Nintendo still has not figured out, sharing.
Yeah,
basic all the stuff with
basic family stuff.
Yeah, but they are kind of doing more to add things to Nintendo Switch Online, making sure that more games are available on that service. So the thing is, as well, is that this story, if you look at it, doom and gloom for Nintendo because they're not going to hit those sales targets. They're going to be fine. They have a little thing called Zelda coming out on Friday, and all of this is going to be bolstered by software sales anyway.
Yeah, listening to the words that the president over there is actually saying, I think it really paints a picture of where we're at in the Switch's life cycle, and specifically this year, like we're about to get a Zelda game, like the follow-up to the highest selling Zelda ever, right? So I imagine that the attach rate is going to be astronomical for this game for Switch players out there. I mean, you see the excitement, you see the amount of views that any piece of Zelda content gets these days across the board. It's like, yeah, there's a fervor for this one. And everybody that bought Breath of the Wild in when the Switch launched is probably going to be buying this game, or at least excited for it. But then the question becomes, what is next? Like, what is the rest of the year? We're kind of looking at a fairly barren summer and fall and winter, like from Zelda on, essentially, for Nintendo at this point. And the messaging here, they said they have some stuff to help bolster, but I'm really getting the idea here that like we might actually really be gearing up for a new console launch. And they're like, hey, just setting expectations here. We're still going to kick ass, but like we're gearing up for the next big thing.
Because I'm trying to think, when does Nintendo do its big directs? Is it February, September?
It always changes. There's a
kinda
little, but I would
changes.
say, yeah, there's always one in January, February. Not always, but there's usually one January, February, and then one around September.
Because if that September one is, you've had your Zelda, leave us alone, we finally released it, and then it's September time, it's talking about stuff for the rest of the year, and then, hey, just one more thing. Bang, Switch 2.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, is at any moment they can just release a new Mario game. And with Mario being like in the biggest moment of his career at this point with the movie and with the theme park and all that stuff, I'm very shocked that we haven't had a new Mario on the 2D or 3D, any side in a while. We had Bowser's Fury as this like semi like not even a standalone. It was kind of just like an additional piece to 3D World that was a great, but not as sizable as a full adventure. It was almost more like a DLC pack, right?
Yeah, 100%. But also, I can't believe, thinking back, that they released Legend of Zelda and Super Mario and Odyssey at the same time.
Yeah.
Same year.
Yeah. And I mean, we haven't had a new 2D Mario on the Switch.
God, they're right. That's
because there's Super Mario Maker 2, and then there was New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe or whatever. So just the ports. But we haven't had an actual new 2D Mario platformer since 2012 when the Wii U launched.
Set them free, Nintendo.
Figure
Set
it
them
out.
free.
That's how you get them console sales, baby. But it's wild to think here. So now with the updated numbers, so the Switch hardware sales at 125 million puts it third place, which already had hit recently in terms of the overall console sales because it outpaced the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. There's only two above it now. Do you know what they are?
Consoles?
Yeah.
I would say PlayStation 4.
Nope.
Oh, PS5.
Nope.
Oh, no.
PS5's way lower right now because it's at 38
right.
million.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking
Still trying to make its way.
outpacing, but it's not. Oh, PS2.
PS2 coming in at number one.
And then the Wii.
No. So PS2 is at 155 million. DS, 154 million.
Really?
Then Switch at 125.
Damn.
And then you go down to Game Boy, then PS4, then PlayStation, then Wii.
Damn.
So Wii's at 101 million. So
Revolution.
the revolution, never forget. But the Switch is currently about 25 million above the Wii. Just for some context there of like how wild it was when the Wii like was first popping off and how it felt like it changed games forever, which it did in so many ways. Yeah, exactly.
Across the land.
I still think that they're gonna. I mean, even if they hit the 15 million that they're talking about here, right? That's getting it still closer, but not quite beating the DS. But I think that there could be enough juice in the tank to get it across the. Yeah. Maybe it could do it. It could go all the way.
Good. I mean, it's just wild to see the longevity and that. Like 15 million is still nothing to be sniffed at.
Oh my, no, that's. I mean, 15 million is. Let me see where we go with this. I mean, 15 million is way more than the Vita.
Oh.
The entire life. It's more than the Wii U. And that you want to hear something that's wild. This is just the estimated last numbers. 15 million is not far off from the Xbox Series X and S reportedly here at 18.5 million.
Where's PS5?
But I don't think we've had updates on that. Oh, PS5? No, is that
like 40 million?
Hold on. Yes, 38. 38.4. So
maybe I'll pivot and become a numbers guy.
Yeah. Your Kendall era. But anyways, that's the hardware side of stuff. Yeah. But then Nintendo, during the physical things, always does their software as well. One of the rare times they actually kind of give the updates on their games here, which is unique to them in the way that NPD doesn't cover the digital side, which is like such a big part of the Nintendo sales structure. So unexpectedly, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still number one. Yeah. An additional 1.79 million units sold, bringing it to almost 54 million copies sold.
And then how many on the Wii U?
I don't know. I think it was. Well, let me see. I should remember this. Mario Kart Wii U
Jeff
sales.
Rub in the chat. Hello, mate.
8.46 million. So yeah, we're talking about 60 million plus sold of Mario Kart 8 in some way, shape, or form. Coming in number 2, not that big of a bump, just 0.62 million is Animal Crossing's New Horizon. Now the number 2.
What a time.
I know, but the number 2 best-selling Switch game, outselling Super Smash Bros. At 31 million and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 29.81 million. An additional 81 million added, and that's wild for a game.
People kidding themselves that they can finish Breath of the Wild before.
You know what? I'm late to this, but I love that though, because it's like that game is still kicking, kicking enough that it can be rising the ranks up in the top 10 here. And then we get Pokemon Sword and Shield at 25.8, Mario Odyssey at 25.7, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet getting an additional 1.5 million, so up to 22.1 million, and then Super Mario Party at almost at 19, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 15.4, which is the wild one.
That's incredible.
When you think of that, the 2D Mario game from 2012, I think, being ported, and it's just like, oh yeah, 15 million sales.
Top 10,
man.
baby.
That's the power. And people always call me out in the comments. They're like, 2D Mario, no one cares. Yes, they do. They care so freaking much, man. And then Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Fit Adventure
still
is
number
great.
10.
That buff dragon guy, he's my nemesis.
So this is the first time that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee has been bumped from the top 10. So that's an interesting thing there. And then they weren't even giving numbers for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So I didn't like those games, and a lot of people as well didn't like those games. So
I'm not a Pokemon guy.
I am so hard. Such a Pokemon guy. Lucid Dream writes in and says, one thing I took away from the Nintendo financials, despite an overall decline in hardware, there was a 58.8% increase in Switch OLED sales. This reinforces the idea that consumers are hungry for new hardware, even though Nintendo said we wouldn't see anything this fiscal year. They're also expecting a further decline. What would it take for Nintendo to announce a Switch successor? Their next console's probably been in development for years. What do you think they're waiting for?
Zelda to get out the door.
Yeah.
Please. Please tell your friends about this console and this game. And that's the swan song, and then they will announce.
Yeah. That sounds very likely. And we there is still some gas in the tank potentially. We know we're getting the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC packs, but that's not going to move the needle that big in terms of new people popping in.
Did Pikmin come out?
No, Pikmin 4 still coming out in, I want to say June, like you said. Correct me if I'm wrong. See you in the chat there. But yeah, Pikmin 4 is June or July. And then after that, we just had Advance Wars, right?
Yep.
And Zelda, obviously, is later in the week. Besides that, it's we don't really have any major games. Metroid Prime 4 is the one unreleased big game that is supposedly coming to Switch. But at this point, it's maybe that's not the case, you know? Yeah. I still think that no matter what the next Switch hardware is, it's going to be more integrated with the Switch than we've ever previously seen consoles be connected. I mean, even I guess maybe Xbox Series is probably the
but I mean, for Nintendo, they love cutting stuff off on their old generations. So I would love to see that more of an ecosystem rather than, okay, well, I have this game and I can only play it on my Nintendo Switch, or I have this game and I can only play it on my Switch 2.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of a cool, fun name, because I'm not as inventive as Nintendo.
Switch U. God. I wonder what it's going to be. And that's the thing. I feel like Switch will still be in the title. I just don't know. I mean, I hope it's not new Nintendo Switch, because they would do that. But
that's some Series X, Series S stuff. No, they can't do that.
The thing with Nintendo is you can never predict it.
Well, they did Wii U, didn't they?
They'll do like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Fuck it, you know, they go crazy over there.
Oh, everyone in chat saying Super Switch.
Yeah, Super Switch I feel is a little too for us, for old people. You know what I mean?
The Super Switch. Also, an unfortunate acronym. Can't call it the SS.
Yeah. We can't do that. We have to figure it out. But yeah, I feel like with Nintendo's not going to want to get away from the amount of hardware sales it has out there with Switch. When you look at these software sales, it's they want to stay tied to that. And when Phil Spencer was on XCast last week, he was talking about how he feels that losing the Xbox One era was the worst era to lose the generation because of the fact that that was the shifting the tide to turn to the digital libraries where you are kind of starting from the ground up of like getting these games that are under your account and all of that. And PlayStation just got such a leg up that when people already had that, of course they're going to want to keep it going forward. I feel like Nintendo, because of the failure of the Wii U, had this hard reset in so many ways where now the Switch is the beginning of that digital library and they have such a head start there that like now that they have that, like I don't think that they're going to get away from that.
They can't lose this momentum. I think, Nintendo definitely still has a ways to go, but they've made such great ground over the last few years and seen enormous success. And so I'm excited for the future of Nintendo. And I say that as someone who didn't really grow up with Nintendo, only really, had a Game Boy Color and whatever, but then, kind of missed out on a lot of the Nintendo generations and then got my Switch. And I was like, oh yeah, this is that joy people have been talking about all this time, huh? But no.
Yeah, well, I love Nintendo and I'm very excited for some new hardware because this thing is not up to snuff.
No, I have a launch
Oh
Switch,
no. Oh
and
no.
that baby's chugging along.
Yeah.
It just stays docked now.
Story number 2, Starfield gets an M rating for its violence, sex, drugs, and swearing. This comes from Michael McWhertor at Polygon. The Entertainment Software Ratings Board has passed judgment on Starfield. And like Bethesda Game Studios' other games, Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the spacefaring role-playing game will be an M for mature rated game. Expect violence, foul language, sex, and drug use in Starfield when the game launches later this summer. When it comes to violence, players will use futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives to kill enemies. Combat is fast-paced with frequent gunfire, cries of pain, and explosions. Attacks on some enemies can result in blood splatter effects. Several environments depict blood stains on the ground around corpses. There's something about this that's really funny to me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so just
surgical. Like,
yeah,
it's just like,
very just like 10,000 foot look at this. It's very fun.
while the violence sounds graphic, the sex in Starfield sounds pretty tame. The game's rating says players can expect some suggestive material in the dialogue and after sharing a bed with characters. Okay. The best of those suggestive lines, quote, "I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time, let's try it without the jetpacks." He's right behind me, isn't he? Finally, the rating also reminds us that Starfield will let you get high on that primo stuff. Space fish juice. Starfield's drug of choice is called Aurora, and as noted by Bethesda back in 2021, players will get some when they visit a destination called Neon, a pleasure city, built on a massive fishing facility. That facility processes a breed of psychotropic fish that creates the naturally occurring drug, and according to the ESRB, players can even work there at some point in the game.
Okay.
You get to be a little drug dealer, a little fish drug dealer.
There is a lot to unpack from this.
Yeah, you're going to take a little trip to Pleasure City?
Pleasure City. I'm going to go to Neon. I'm all... Right, okay. When I say this is like the biggest Mass Effect 2 defender in the world, some of those lines are cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Part of the fun.
Part of the fun. Garrus Vakarian... Well, actually, Garrus is in ESO now, and I was like, oh, if you're going to make me play Elder Scrolls Online, make my companion Garrus Vakarian. Anyway, so that's downloading. But he never said anything as bad as, "I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time, let's try it without the jetpacks." Someone wrote that line.
Yeah, and it
Maybe
sucks.
in context.
It sucks.
Maybe
Out of
in
context. It's so mean. It's so mean. Like, I feel like fucking ESRB's out here just like, yo, let's like make them look so lame right now.
Some of the ESRB is just like, another game, is it? All right.
The sex is tame, but they got some lines here. Yeah, I don't think that is a worry of like any indication of like the quality of the writing of the game. I think it's just an unfortunate pull quote here that's funny. But an M-rated rating for this, I'm not surprised at all, right?
No, I'm glad there's an M rating because when I play an RPG, I love just getting lost in it, and I think sometimes when games hold back a little bit, maybe for rating, maybe for artistic vision or whatever, I'm just like, I kind of wish that was a little bit grittier. That's just because I'm a weird person who loves really gritty, dark stuff. I'm reading a really weird book at the moment that I was talking to Joey about, and she was like, "Everything all right?" But so I'm really glad it's M rating because I think that kind of lends itself to the experience. a little bit.
Yeah. Dan Golden Spider B writes in and says, am I the only person that would be fully happy and satisfied if Starfield is just another Bethesda RPG, but in space? Everyone seems to be pushing and thinking that this needs to be a genre/decade defining game, but I just want a good time in a sci-fi open world RPG.
Me too. I want bugs galore. I want wonky kind of AI and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not closed-minded or just not creative enough. It's like, I don't see how you could redefine. Maybe they can, and like, but I'm kind of happy if they're not. But maybe I'm just not setting that expectation for myself. So when I play it, and it's like, oh my god, this is the best game since Skyrim. But I'm happy if it's not.
Yeah. It's complicated because I feel like you're not the only person, Dan. Like, I feel like there's most people, probably the healthiest expectation for the game is that it's going to be like the other things from them, just in space.
I think if we've learned anything over the past few years of big games coming out that we're all incredibly excited for,
yeah,
manage those expectations. Remember Cyberpunk? Everyone was like, at launch at least, everyone was like, Cyberpunk is going to change everything. Like the big RPG that's going to change everything. And then it was just like, oh, didn't launch in the state that we expected it to. But then Redemption Story had fixed itself. But we've had that over and over again. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that there's layers to it in the sense that, like, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are just expecting that. They're probably going to get that, and that's great. But there is another side to it where, because we are in the industry, because we are on a show talking about video games and talking about the business of it all and like how the whole ecosystem works, that's why there's all these extra pressures, is because there is this conversation around different developers and what the expectations are contextually based on their previous projects. And you look at Bethesda, and right now we're kind of looking at them as like, y'all need a win. It's been a while, and y'all are known for some of the biggest, best games ever, some of the most like industry-defining games with things like Skyrim and some of the Fallouts. And then you had Fallout 76 as the last major release title. So now it's kind of like all eyes on you to be like, no, prove you're back on course or whatever. And like, do they need to do that? Or can you just look at every game as its own thing? I think both are true. And I think that that's kind of like where it all is, where it doesn't necessarily need to fall into like console war stuff. It's even just like a war with their own library, like looking at what Xbox is trying to put out, specifically after partnering with Bethesda, this being the first Xbox exclusive Bethesda title. Like there's a lot.
Redfall.
Okay. Bethesda Softworks title.
Okay.
So that means so much, right? And I think because of Redfall coming out, where there was expectations from Arcane and then Halo and, et cetera, I think that's why everybody's kind of pushing that this needs to be bigger than it possibly even can be. Yeah. It's a monster to itself. And is that right? Fair? I don't know, but it's reality.
And it's also, they announced it so long ago that can't help but get swept up in those expectations. Every little crumb of information, every leaked screenshot, people have just been picking over and poring over for years at this point. And so there's obviously going to be an element of hype in it.
And that's due to placing, right? That's due to them telling us years ago, hey, this is alongside Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Like, this is the big one, like this matters. And like, when they tell us, hey, in the same way you guys love that, you're going to love this, that's where this like starts snowballing. And then unfortunately, there's things out of their control, which is all the games releasing around them. And I feel like that's all kind of just created this unfortunate perfect storm of expectations that yet another insurmountable task is put on the shoulders of Xbox Game Studios developer to meet expectations that, like, in all honesty, I don't think are feasible. But having said all that, I don't expect this game to be bad by any means. I think that the millions and millions of Dan Golden Spider Bs out there are going to have a great time with this game, no matter what state it launches in. I expect, at least. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny to get this show ad-free. But for everyone else, look how cool I look. Oh, Kevin, you're leaving me hanging way too long for that segue. Shout out to Shady Rays for sponsoring this episode. Do you want to look as cool as I look? Yes, you do. And you can. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an unbeatable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that I've ever worn in my life. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Exclusively for you listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use the code KINDAFUNNY. You can get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Promo code KINDAFUNNY at shadyrays.com.
Barrett tells me that doesn't happen.
Going in, I had the perfect segue. Kevin once again has to go running back in. Going out, he's like coming back in 5, 4, boom, we're back.
I've talked to him about it. He says that doesn't happen with him, but that clearly there was 2 seconds left on the indicator.
I love it here, everybody. Kevin's feeling giggly. What a great day. Story number 3. Horizon Forbidden West has become one of PS5's best-selling games. This is great news. This comes from Liam Croft at PushSquare. As part of a celebratory PlayStation blog post all about the 20th anniversary of Guerrilla Games, the first-party team has announced that Horizon Forbidden West has sold 8.4 million units as of April 16, 2023. This is purely counting all PS5, PS4 sales and does not factor in any downloads from PS Plus Extra. That's some good info to have.
Yeah.
In total, with the original Horizon Zero Dawn and also Horizon Call of the Mountain included, the Horizon series has now sold 32.7 million copies, including PS Plus and the play-at-home redemptions. The sales milestone makes Horizon Forbidden West one of PS5's best-selling games, competing in the upper echelons with the likes of God of War Ragnarok and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. All told, it's a milestone we never imagined possible 20 years ago when we first started making games. This is coming from studio director Jan Bart Van Beek. The PS5 version has since been updated with a significant expansion in Burning Shores, so sales of the base game should receive a boost in the near future. Beek continues, this reception has been staggering, and we're grateful to the community for the continued love and support of the franchise. We Guerrillas feel lucky to witness that support every day. We share community fan art and the cosplay. I want you all to know we're completely blown away by your enthusiasm. He then teases the 3rd installment. Her latest mission takes her to the ruins of Los Angeles and Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores. And we can't wait for you to find out where she'll go next.
Which American city is she gonna go to next? Crazy gal.
What do you think about this?
I'm not the biggest fan of Horizon.
I am not either.
Okay, good.
I'm not either. But I am a fan of a new IP coming out and working and hitting like this. Not just the sequel selling so well, but the franchise overall. Like another big hit that didn't exist, a decade ago.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. And I'm glad that, because obviously we kind of PlayStation icons kind of go in phases. There was the Crash years for a while, and then there's obviously Nathan Drake and Sweet Boy Crash. And now it's kind of nice that Aloy's up there too. Like I love seeing kind of all the representation is different from, and I just never gel with the game though. That's
I don't either.
I wish I liked Horizon more than I did.
And it's weird too because like visually it is
Stunning.
It is stunning, and it's the most me thing ever. Like there's no aesthetic I like more than Neon Jungle. And it's just like, I feel like that, like, it's such a beautiful game. I was watching Greg play Burning Shores a little bit yesterday, and I'm just like, man, like, I didn't love Forbidden West. Am I going to get back into this, though? But going off of that, like, I don't want to be negative, because this is a win.
Yeah.
This is such a big deal here for the fans of the game, and for Guerrilla specifically, to have such a turnaround from where they were to this, like, such a different genre shift. Again, proof that it can work. Like, we've seen, like, recently we were talking about Redfall with Arcane, and, like, trying something different, not quite hitting the mark. But here it's like Horizon, a very different game than the previous game. So that working, I think, is great for them. And I am interested in this line where he's talking about the PS5 version's been updated with a significant expansion with Burning Shores. So sales of the base game should receive a boost in the near future. We don't often hear about the relationship between DLC and base game sales. And so I'd be interested in like what that actually can result in. Like, do I'm sure there is a bump, but I wonder how significant that is around their strategies of thinking of DLC as kind of a way to get more money out of the people that already played versus trying to get new people in and using it as like a second marketing attempt at the base game.
Yeah, because it's a little more, with appealing to the people who already own the game, that's easier because you've basically already done the hard work. They've played it, they know the story, but then bringing out an expansion or a piece of DLC, it's a bigger ask. So I would wonder what that conversion looks like. One thing I would say that this doesn't count for is, does it account for bundles? Because PS5 was bundled with Horizon, right?
With Forbidden West?
With the new one.
Yeah, was it?
Was there a bundle?
I don't know, but yeah, it probably would count. Like they count bundle sales
for it. Which is also interesting because people just buy the console and then
and especially there was such a swell of PS5 being bought around that time,
and it does count.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that makes sense then. It's when it comes to where Horizon is right now, this DLC Burning Shores coming out. Like, even let's say you liked Burning Shores, like, or if you liked Forbidden West, would you play Burning Shores? Would you be excited to play Burning Shores, or would you be like, if I have time, I'm going to?
So the thing is that I love any excuse to kind of get back to a world that I love, and so every time there's like a big meaty DLC for a game I love, I would absolutely get back in. I also think compared to the Xbox 360 PS3 days, it felt like maybe I'm kind of going from Mass Effect and whatever, and the BioWare DLCs where those felt important and they felt like real moments that you would look forward to, and I feel like we don't really get big DLCs like that. And so I think anytime that a studio does do that and revisits a game and adds more to it, adds more context, adds more story, adds more gameplay, I love that. And so I think right now, though, the timing of this launch is tricky because inadvertently they've put themselves up against Zelda again.
I know.
Like,
once again. Damn you, Nintendo.
Remember what happened the last time.
Zelda, then Elden Ring. It's just like poor Aloy, man.
I know. But so I hope that, and obviously it'll be one of those things that maybe it goes on PS Plus, or maybe they'll kind of do a bundle or something again over the summer where things are a little bit quieter, because I wouldn't want something like Burning Shores to be drowned out, because it's going to be meaningful to so many people who really enjoyed that game.
Yeah. I do think something should be said about the fact that despite Zelda, despite Elden Ring, we're still talking about these numbers, right? So it's like, I do think that when we talk about different games, the comparisons, we go back to like the failure of Titanfall 2 because it was like crushed against its own competition. Like, it was like such a sad thing. It's like, there can be, with the right support and pushes, whether it's bundling for console sales or just a continuous investment in the IP itself, like, you can come out the other side on that, like, victorious. And with Apex on the Titanfall side, it's like, I do wonder if EA can like keep making a couple right decisions, if we can get back to it and get a Titanfall 3 out of it. But
Hope and dream.
Yeah.
But no, I think as well, the narrative is always that Horizon gets the short shrift because they were up against Zelda, they were up against Elden Ring. But them announcing these numbers as part of the 20th, it's like, no, it's like this franchise is doing great. We know there are multiple projects on the horizon.
Hey.
And so it's great to see because they new IP is relatively few and far between these days.
Especially that big, like a swing that ridiculously big. And but then you look at Ghosts of Tsushima as well, right? Like, it's in a world where here we are in May 2023, and this has been one of my favorite years in video game history so far.
Oh, this year is ridiculous.
And it seems like it's only going to continue that way. But so many of those have been remakes or remasters to some extent, with Metroid Prime, Dead Space, Resident Evil 4. But that being intermixed with the hi-fi rushes, I enjoy that we can get these new IP and then we can get the sequel. And God of War, not a new IP, right? Mm-hmm. But it is a essentially rebooted IP. It gets a sequel. Then we get the license things with Spider-Man going to Insomniac, and then it turns into a franchise. But Horizon being a from the ground up brand new thing that is now a pillar, and you got to imagine Ghost is similarly going to see that type of success when it gets a sequel. It's a great time for PlayStation Studios, I'll tell you that.
Yep, 100%.
Story number 4. Street Fighter 6 open beta announced just a few weeks before release. This comes from George Yang at IGN. Capcom announced that it will be hosting an open beta for Street Fighter 6 from May 19th to May 21st. It will contain the same content as the closed beta from December 2022, and the released version will be updated with further character balances. Those who want to participate in the open beta will need to register a Capcom ID and link their desired platform, as PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S are included. The available playable characters are Luke, Jamie, Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile, Kimberly, Jury, and Ken. The available stages include Metro City Downtown, Genbu Temple, Carrier Byron Taylor, Tianheng Yuan, Macho Ring, and Training Room. Get hyped. There are also a variety of different modes to play online with, such as ranked matches, casual matches, open tournaments, and more. Additionally, cross-play functionality will let players from separate platforms enjoy the game with each other. This is kind of wild. May 19th, 21st, people will be able to play that game, so just 10 days from now. But then the game comes out.
June 6th or 2nd?
That sounds right.
Early,
June
2nd.
2nd. Oh. June 2nd. So yeah, we are very close to this game.
Awesome.
Are you a Street Fighter, Lucy? Are you a fighting game person?
No, I am not, but I'm friends with Tam. So genuinely, when we went to Summer Game Fest last year, we had an appointment to go see it. And they looked at me and they went, "Oh, you're a video producer. Do you want to capture gameplay?" No, thank you. Tam, please take my slot. I think he ended up getting like a double slot and ended up, because he's obviously great at them. Everyone I've spoken to who enjoys fighting games is really, really digging Street Fighter 6. And I'm super glad to see it. Like, I think I wish I had, first of all, the cartilage and the tendons to be able to play a fighting game, but sadly I don't. It looks really cool. I mean, but it's meant to be a little bit more approachable. Newcomers.
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Are you a street? Are you?
I enjoy fighting games a lot. I would not say I'm a fighting game person. I'm definitely not good at them, but I play them enough. I play through the stories and like casually enough that like I had like Chun-Li's my main, I would say, in Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Like that's the level that I'm at with it. But I have a ton of fun. I always play through. Like the Street Fighter specifically, I would say is the one that I'm like traditional fighting game that I'm most attuned to. But really excited for 6. I'm really excited mainly, we've been talking about this a lot, that fighting games are kind of having this like major moment right now. This year. Yeah, it kicks it off.
What a ridiculous year.
Street Fighter 6 being kind of the first major one, but then going down, we get Tekken, we're going to get Mortal Kombat, and then Project L. And with EVO being as exciting as it is, like with esports in general kind of exploding almost like in tandem alongside the industry we talk about with video games over the last couple of years, and like we've kind of seen esports kind of rise and like I don't want to say fall, but kind of explode at the top, and right now it's kind of all just
they're in a weird place right now.
But it got so big, and like that's a whole side of the industry that we just don't even, I don't know how much you know, but like we just don't talk about. We just don't know. It's like it's might as well just be a completely different thing. But there's something about EVO and like the fighting game community that I feel for some reason it's in the Venn diagram of esports and traditional games coverage. And I think maybe it just goes back to back in the day, traditional games coverage did cover arcades, and it covered like Street Fighter is kind of endemic to that experience where a lot of the MOBAs and the more PC side of things aren't.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of funny. A lot of people who worked in fighting games and in the fighting game community, you know, like we have a couple video producers who came up. They worked on EVO. I know Eric Williams from the God of War team is massive in the fighting game community, and that's like kind of where he grew up and cut his teeth. And so I'm sad. It's like genuinely one of those things that I wish I could get into, but I'm way past it. And you know, there's too much lore and history and games that I've missed out on. Wrestling, Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Like if I had all the time in the world, I would get into, but I sadly don't.
Yeah. For me, I think there's something, fighting games and racing games, I love playing them, but like there's a certain level of skill that I'm like, I just can't pass it.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
my ceiling.
I'm just like, this mechanic doesn't make sense in my mind. It doesn't click. Okay, that's fine. But I still have fun with it. But I think that there's something about fighting games that in the same way that like chess is just such a smart game and it just works. Like there are rules to it that once you learn, it kind of like advances you and you're a different level of a human being. I think fighting games are the same thing.
100%.
where it's so tit for tat, and when they're well balanced, there's like nothing quite like those mechanics and how they make the hand-eye coordination and all that stuff work. It's kind of like it's gameplay at its core, right? And I think that's why a lot of game designers love fighting games so much, because like that, they can take that gameplay and like see what works there and then apply it to story or characters or whatever the genre and vision they have.
Because I think that's how I would need to reprogram myself to play a fighting game. Because when I was playing Tekken 4 growing up with my friend Beth, we would just button mash. We want to get to the next cutscene. We weren't learning it properly. We weren't memorizing combos. We were just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I think I would massively need to just unlearn how everything I thought I knew about fighting games to be able to play them properly at the level at which they deserve to be played.
Yeah. But I do think that with the run of the games coming out, and especially how the release schedule seems paced right now, if things go to plan, like I think that the fighting game community has the potential to thrive in a way that it never quite has in a mainstream way. And with PlayStation investing and buying Evo and running it, there's a lot of question marks there. I'm sure there's a lot of bad that's going to come with that. But I think potentially that could turn it into what I'm saying of like the difference between traditional esports and then the more like, hey, this is something that and then the other thing, like on top of fighting games being such a gameplay focused genre, they're also very simple for outsiders and audience to watch and understand what's going on. Watching Overwatch or watching Hearthstone or watching Dota or any of that stuff, if you don't know the rules, you're going to be lost. Watching a fighting game, there's 2 health bars that are going down, and like you might not know the matchups.
No camera cuts.
Exactly. It's just like you can see it, and like even if you don't play video games, one person saying, "Oh, whoever loses that color first wins," you're like, I can wrap my head around that. So I feel like that all just adds up to like a lot of easy wins that need to then be backed up with great games that then need to be backed up with great communities. And I feel like there's this perfect storm happening right now that could happen.
Trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. But finding out if video games are going to be taken over by the fighting game genre is so far away, Lucy. If I want to know what's coming to Mom and Grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Thank you, Kevin. Out today, we have Ease 9, Monstrum Nox on PlayStation 5, Mid-Autumn. There was a lot of letters next to each other.
I was amazed you got that first one. I was like, I have no idea.
Just so y'all know, it's MIDAUTUMN all together, which if it said mid and then autumn, I would have got. But all together, that was a lot. Panorama on PC, Dokapon Kingdom Connect on Switch, Stellaris Galactic Paragons on PC, and Peridot on iOS and Android. Peridot is the Niantic game. That is their own game. It's the new Pokemon Go type thing, but like, and it's essentially their Pokemon ripoff. So it's like the 90s all over again of everyone trying to do their own thing. But they also kind of invented this whole. What do you call it? Social.
The metaverse.
I mean, it is the metaverse in
a way
iteration, but yeah. Did you ever get into any of those types of games?
I mean, you could not be around in 2016 without getting into Pokemon Go. So 2016, and that, I remember we worked right next to a Pokestop and a gym. So the Gamespot office was a hubbub. And I remember one time, was it a Dratini or something spawned in the office and we just lost it. And then I fell off because I don't walk a lot. I wasn't doing all the walking stuff, so I didn't hatch anything. Nothing was very good in my collection. Like, I didn't have they didn't have shinies back then.
Not back then, no.
But no, I didn't have, I couldn't be bothered. And then they kept adding more and more Pokemon. And I was like, well, this is beyond the 151. But I do occasionally, because I'm obviously friends with Andrew Goldfarb,
of course,
who's still playing, Callie plays. I download it every so often occasionally, just to kind of have a look. But I think I got back in when they had the whole Gengar thing from a while ago.
Yeah. My boy Gengar. We got to get in here, yeah.
Are you still playing?
So I, like everyone else, played in 2016. And Greg's old house, the original spare bedroom, did not have Pokestops around it. It did not have any of those things. So it made it like just a little too inconvenient to really keep up with it. So I fell off hardcore really early on and didn't even touch it. And then after I fell in love with Scarlet and Violet in November, I've played every single day.
Wow.
I am like, I'm checking Pokemon Go multiple times a day now. I have officially caught over half of them, all of them, in the game, and I'm going for them all. I'm catching them all, baby.
Tim, you remember the one place around the first studio that did have them?
Yeah.
That one bar that had that sign that said "No Pokemon here."
Yeah.
Leave
There was
us
this
alone, no
bar that
Pokemon.
was like, what was it called? Yellow Nellies? No.
Oh,
Dirty Nellies.
Wait, around 9th?
No.
Further down?
Older, around 25th. It was called Dirty Nellies, and it was this like old Irish bar.
Oh God.
And they had the most like it was normal. Like what color is an Irish bar?
Green.
Yeah.
Well, like green
that-
accoutrement.
That exactly, right? This was not, or it was, and then they decided to paint over it, and they were like, "Well, we're in San Francisco, so we're gonna do Warriors colors, which were, that like bright royal blue, and then like
Yellow?
obnoxiously loud yellow, and so it was all just royal blue, and then they painted all the trimmings yellow. It might be the ugliest building I have ever seen in my life.
Is it
so,
still there?
oh yeah, it's still there.
Fantastic.
It's still. I'll try to see if I can get a picture, but thank you.
Oh
Kevin.
my God.
Thank you. Yeah, like it is ugly. But they had a sign in front that says "No Pokemon here,"
And it was a Pokemon.
and it was a stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
That often spawned Pokemon.
God,
God.
man,
But it
this-
was one of those
fantastic.
places that has like a sign that says like new faces are always friends or something. You know.
Oh, yeah.
And like you'd walk in and be like, that is not the vibe.
Yeah.
That is not the vibe.
definitely not. Me and Greg had lunch with Roger Craig Smith, the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog,
lovely.
at Dirty Nellies.
There.
But anyways, Pokemon Go forever.
Go. What a time.
May it rain, I guess. I don't know. Actually, no, it's a really bad time right now. I came in at like apparently the worst time ever. Goldfarb was trying to tell me like everything like since pandemic, like Pokemon Go is like the one thing that got better. And then
they changed it so you don't have to go play.
yeah, you don't actually need to go. It's just Pokemon. They took the go out of it. But then apparently they they took out the remote raid passes or whatever. Or like not took out, but they like bumped up how much it costs. It's a whole thing in the community. Don't follow the Reddit. New dates for you. Super Bunny Man hops into 1.0 on May 16th.
Nice.
Gimmick special. Do you know what Super Bunny Man is? Me neither.
I just like the hops.
There's a YouTuber named Super
This is Super Bunny Hop.
Bunny Hop.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love him.
Yeah, I love him.
His Metal Gear Solid retrospectives
so good.
are fantastic. Yeah. Gimmick Special Edition launches July 6th on PS4, Switch, and PC. FIFA 23 joins EA Play and Xbox Game Pass on May 16th. Deals of the day for you, Steam World Dig 2 is $6 on Xbox. And let's do a little reader mail for you here. NewJohnPlus writes in and says, "Hey KF crew, what's a game you find yourself returning to just to play it, enjoy gaming, and relax? My most recent game like this was Breath of the Wild. I still return to it in between games when I'm resting, when I don't know what to play, or when I just want to feel the thrill of climbing a tall mountain and gliding off of it. Before Breath of the Wild, it was Skyrim. Before Skyrim, it was the original Pokemon. Honestly, it's still the original Pokemon. With Tears of the Kingdom dropping this week, I'm already anticipating that it might replace Breath of the Wild for me in this way. Thanks for answering. Here's hoping Tears of the Kingdom convinces Greg that Kinda Funny actually does need a Nintendo show."
Peggle.
Oh, that is such a good answer.
Peggle.
Yeah.
Although it's not available on, this is my cross to bear, it's not available on phones anymore. They're trying to make you play that god-awful Peggle Blast.
Now, Lucy, what if I told you that my answer is Peggle Blast? I love Peggle Blast, and it is the most offensive thing in the world with the monetization and all that stuff, but it is the superior Peggle because it's vertical. So you're playing, whereas the rest of the Peggle 1, Peggle 2, all that stuff, you don't get as much fun time for the ball to drop, you know? The vertical designs for Peggle is how the game should be played. And they just ruined it. But Peggle Blast is the best game of all time, held back by bullshit monetization.
Okay, well.
I've beaten Peggle Blast to 100% like 5 times.
I didn't even know that was possible because I would get caught by the monetization.
There's ways to cheese it, and then my game's just broken at this point. I don't know what happened, but I've played it so much and I've broken it so much that it just lets me play unlimited.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's ways around this.
See, I love Peggle 1 and 2, but I'm missing it being on my phone. Have you tried Round Guard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love it. Too much stuff.
Scratches the itch.
Scratches the niche, but it may be a bit too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I just want some fun here. I want a single screen by screen challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe get some 3 stars. You know?
Maybe I'll go back and try it again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
Peggle is the best relaxing game because it is drop in, drop out, the satisfaction of hitting the pins, and
then the music plays. You're like, oh my god, it feels so good. Bless you. My other 2 games would be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remake 1 and 2, and Spider-Man or Miles Morales. Any of those.
Swing and feel so
Just
good.
swing and feel so good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what mine be. Oh, Dishonored 1 and 2. Just hell yeah. Just the way that it feels. I don't know. It's just something.
Oh yeah, it feels good. It feels good. It's a big Bear Courtney game right there. And then the other ones for me, all the old school things like Pokemon's an easy answer, but if I have time and I'm just chilling, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna load up Super Mario Brothers 1 and just beat it. Like just real quick, 10 minutes in and out. And Star Fox 64 is a game that I'm like, do I have an hour? Fuck it, I'm doing it.
I have an hour.
I'll
make an hour for
system. What do we got going on? Who do we have over there? Is that Andy? That is Andy. Andy's going to be joining us. I'm really excited for that. For
wow,
beautiful.
Andy decided to actually be here while I'm here for a change.
Yes. We're going to answer all your super chats right after this. Real quick, let me tell you, this week's hosts are tomorrow, Blessing and Greg, Thursday, Blessing and me, and Friday, me and Blessing. It's going to be a great week if you're a fan of Blessing. After this, we're about to do the little super chat thing with you. Please super chat away, asking any questions you have about the stories we talked about today, video games in general, or anything you have for the amazing Lucy James. This has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, where we run you through the video game news that you need to know. Until next time, Game Daily. Live. We go straight into it here. Let me pull up these super chat things while Andy Cortez joins us today. That was a good one, Luce. I'm happy that we can say we did it now.
We did it finally.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Why no Tears of the Queendom? Huh? Jesus.
Jesus, he says.
Wow.
Dismantle the patriarchy, am I right?
Oh, man.
Tell him. Tell him.
What's up, everybody? We're here for the Q&A section of the post show. Get your super chats in. Get them read. We'll answer all your burning questions and desires in the gaming world. Lucy, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you, Andy. How you doing?
Last time she was here, we were in LA.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing for both of us.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole
It's
thing.
okay, I'm back. Don't worry.
So remember, you can send in your super chats. A couple people already have. Would you like to read them, Andy?
I sure would. It's a weird. It doesn't like load in real time.
It's weird.
Oh,
It
okay,
is
can
weird.
do
You got to
like a
keep
little
on
refresh guy?
refreshing. You got to keep on refreshing. Here we go. $5 super chat from Luke Milo Design. Thank you for supporting here on the Patreon super chat. Not Patreon, but you know what I mean. Super chat, super time, super fun time. Lucy, we were recently graced with the presence of Mr. Cardi. Just wondering, is the
Cardi
UK
B.
Games Media a close-knit crew? Do you know the RKG lads and Screbs?
I do. Very well. So the UK industry is so small because everyone is basically based out of London and Bath. And, it's a tiny country. Everyone would go to the same events all the time.
About a 20-minute drive from each border.
Pretty much.
I hear you.
Pretty much. And so when you say, do you know the RKG lads, Gav and Kroops went with Tam and I to the BAFTAs.
Y'all looked so good.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
It was such a nice day, but I was more setting spray and powder than woman because I was like, it has to last all day. I have to look good.
What's setting spray? Is that to like to keep the makeup stuck
but,
on?
Yeah. It's basically like hairspray, but for your face.
It's like when you paint and then you kind of put some stuff on there. I see.
Yeah.
Can I bring up a grievance real quick?
Yeah.
Let me hear your grievance.
What's up with
Tim.
sunscreen? Why am I so bad at applying it? And I'm not saying like bad about remembering. I'm saying about like the reason that I don't put it on as much as I should, which
And you
is
should put it on every day.
every single
You're
day.
a non-believer, it sounds like.
It's not that I'm a non-believer. I'm a believer in it for sure. I just don't understand why when I put it on my hands, when other people rub it on their face, it goes away. I put it on my face and I look like a cartoon character.
What are you using? What's the Are you using a
SPF?
special? No, but what's the brand? Are you using like a super goop? Or are you using Inky?
Super Gooper Inky.
Are you using?
Have you thought about using just the spray?
I mean, yeah, but the spray is less effective than it should be for me. So also look at me. Can I get the one?
I did that on purpose.
Such an. I need SPF like 130 plus. All right,
Not a thing.
for this, and I don't think they make spray like that. And if they do,
I don't know if you're rubbing in quick, like good enough.
that's my thing. But I see Gia do it, and she's just like boop boop boop, and she's all good.
But do you use the same one as Gia?
I don't think that she needs as intense of an SPF as I do. But
are you
even
using
then,
the same brand?
yeah, probably. I don't know. You know what? You're asking a lot of really good questions. That
You
I should
asked
have
about
answered.
Goopy and Inky. We don't know. I don't know those
Super Goop
characters.
Is, oh, actually, there is a really good Japanese one that I use, and it just melts into the skin.
Okay. I might need to talk
I'll
to you
send you
about
some links. Don't
because
worry.
it's like
Look
it's
at me.
embarrassing.
Do I go outside? No, this is just. I've been used to white balance a camera before, so I know something about sun protection.
Next question from Squid Kuma says, hey, Tim, have y'all played or talked about this new underground game called Hi-Fi Rush? You also look into it. Think y'all
You
would
are
dig it.
hilarious.
At least we
Yes.
tried gaming with a $5 super chat. Says a couple of fun random character matchups for y'all. TMNT versus Power Rangers. 2, Blanca versus Venom. And 3, Jin Sakai versus Sekido. Sword fighting skills only.
Interesting. TMNT versus Power Rangers. I mean, it's rough because of Power Rangers have a giant robot and like guns and stuff, and I feel like lasers. So I think they're gonna destroy the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but the teenage mind can do anything, Tim.
Power Rangers are teenagers too, Andy.
Fuck.
But
With attitude.
so I don't know much about the Ninja Turtles, but could their shells?
Shells would help for a bit, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as much as...
Can we get like Kevlar on those shells? But it would be the soft belly, right?
Yeah, you get them on their belly, they're done.
Yeah,
Push
if you
them-
get
you
them
push
on their
them on their
back,
back.
they just kind of roll around. They can't get back up. Jossie G. Well, first off, I want to talk about the other matchups. I think Sekido would beat Jin Sakai because Sekido has
100%.
fought massive, creatures,
Gorillas.
big ass snake.
But Jin Sakai has fought his inner demons.
Oh wow, that's the truest monster of them all. Some people say
What was the other one?
Blanca versus Venom.
Blanca. Like
Is
Street
it
Fighter
Tom
Blanca?
Hardy? If it's Tom Hardy,
Well,
Blanca wins.
what a matchup though. Like
Yeah.
the other matchups here, I'm like, all right, TMNT, Power Rangers, team
Well,
on
I think it's a
team.
person that turned into something, with Blanca and Venom. Like Blanca was a person, right? At one point.
I don't know. I don't.
Really?
You know what? I
Was it?
don't know.
I thought
about
Blanca like kind of.
You know what?
Stepped
I'm
in-
Googling.
fell in a
Admittedly,
vat
my
of Blanca.
Blanca backstory lore is not like up to snuff, but
Fell
like,
in a vat of
I mean, look,
fucking
he's got
green
a
juice, electricity juice.
Blanca, Street Fighter, human.
Blanca was human, yeah.
I think he's
He's in fact a human.
Wow.
Wow.
They were
Wow.
actually both former Oscar-winning actors that then became like crazy weird monsters.
He was once human, but after a plane crash in Brazil, he mutated.
Brazil.
Wow,
There you go.
learning a lot.
Y'all are learning today. I'm really
yeah,
happy
thank
for
you,
y'all.
Andy.
Joshy G, $2 super chat says, check out Dokapon Kingdom. Mario Party meets RPG.
Dokapon Kingdom. A Mario Party RPG, like that, breaking me a little bit right now. I don't.
Google it.
How did you just unlock an achievement on your laptop?
I don't know. This is Mike's laptop, and Mike is.
Fucking Mike, man. Xbox needs something to just open it up a fucking YouTube page. You get an achievement.
Mike is doing some stuff, and I'm seeing like Mike just popped 5 gamer score. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tim is scrolling through the Dokapon
All right, cool. Yeah.
Kingdom.
Dokapon Kingdom. Yeah, it looks like a board game thing. I don't really see how the RPG elements get in here, but interesting. Oh, the mini games and stuff are more of like a turn-based.
You
type.
play the role of a board game player. Overly Jammy, $5 says, Andy's the GOAT. Thanks.
A lot of facts.
Like your alt?
Thank you. No, fuck. Jace Drone says, that's a dope jacket, Andy. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Just a bunch
It's your
of
day right
bunch
now.
of
I love
compliments
it,
right
dude.
now. Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
Andy Tuesday,
It's been a
everybody.
while. $2 from Voss says, Metroid Remaster sold low. How do improve MP4 sales?
Metroid Prime 4.
Prime 4.
You know, that's interesting. I didn't see the
Oh, I didn't see
the numbers for Metroid Prime 4 on that, or Metroid Prime Remastered, but let's see what people are saying. It is a weird one, though, because remember, 7 hours ago, 1.9 million units since its launch on February 8th. That's not bad at all. What do you mean low? That is definitely like up there for a Metroid game, and also that's like just a handful of months worth of data, and it didn't even come out physically until later as well. So, let's see.
Pretty good.
Yeah, like Metroid Prime, the original, only quote unquote sold 2.84 million. So, yeah, it's on track to be a high seller.
Anybody else blown away by the sales of Little Nightmares?
What were they?
Like, I think the combined 1 and 2 sales are like 13 million or something wild like that. Yeah.
I mean, that game's
maybe I'm lying about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Boss follows up here saying Skyward Sword Remaster sold 4 million in a month in comparison. Which again, that's a wild number that Nintendo could just re-release a game and get 4 million new sales, especially for a game as kind of like not talked about positively as Skyward Sword in recent years. But that also, I think, goes to show that Breath of the Wild kind of made Zelda a household gaming name in a way that it didn't used to be. And I feel like we haven't had that for Metroid yet. I don't know that we ever will either, because like there's a lot going on with our friend Samus over here.
Like a divorce or
Just going through a tough time.
Trying to move out. $2 from Tatman to the Rescue says, Friends Per Second is a wonderful podcast, Lucy.
Glad you enjoy it.
Congratulations, Lucy.
Great crew over there. If people don't know, who is on Friends Per Second and what is it?
So Friends Per Second is myself, Skill Up, aka Ralph, Gerard the Completionist, and Jake Baldino from Game Ranks. And we get together every 2 weeks. And we just chat about all the big stuff in gaming, get some good guests on. And then, we're going to be at Summer Game Fest, all of us in person. So we'll do another show. We'll get folks in. It's going to be a good time. But
love that.
it's weird because it feels like we've been doing it forever, but we're actually only on like episode 21.
That's so funny. Every 2 weeks, that'll slow you down there a little bit. But yeah,
But it's
great,
because otherwise
great
it means that we have so much to talk about every time we do get together. And it's, time zones and stuff. But it's really good.
Foxy Steve $5 says, want to know if you guys have seen the footage of the upcoming Unreal Engine 5 PS5 MMO Chrono Odyssey and what your thoughts were.
Kev, can you pull up Chrono Odyssey PS5?
Chrono Odyssey was kind of popping off on Twitter because
couple days
it's like,
ago.
hey, this is the brand new MMO. Time to get your MMO fix, and it looks really, really nice, and that's why I just super don't believe in it because like. What are the odds,
Yeah.
At this point, if you're a betting man or lady in the tiers of the queendom, am I right? Like, there's got to be, you've got to just sort of see the ambition and go, chances are this won't work as intended. And I'm hoping it does. Again, I just feel like we've been burned by a lot of titles of this sort of style,
Unreal 5, man. Everything I see from it, I'm just like, how?
Damn.
How are we here?
Yeah.
And like
Look at that.
wow. What? Like, what is this? What is this? This is too ambitious in the best way possible. Of like, this looks breathtaking.
I'd play that.
This is a PS5 game?
Yeah.
PS5 MMO.
Oh, you lost me. Damn.
Well, that's why. I mean, that's kind of like the if you just said that this was like, hey, if you're excited about the upcoming Lords of the Fallen, or if you're a Souls player or whatever, you might enjoy this. But it's the MMO stuff that kind of makes me worry about the scope of the project and how well realized everything else will be if it's an MMO.
The sheer amount of assets that need to be created for games these days, like, it blows my mind.
You buy these assets from the stores,
but
bro.
I mean, but even then, like, just the amount that need to be used and like used together, and somebody has to design that and figure out where everything goes and like make these choices. Like, there's just so many choices.
Red grass, red foliage. That's the sign of a good game. I've always said that.
You know people, like make things on Etsy and just sell them. Like digital stuff. Do you think there's people who do that for Unreal?
Oh yeah,
just like model stuff and then
maybe it's not
pass it
Etsy,
down?
but like
store.
Yeah, on the Unreal store.
Oh yeah,
cool.
No, there's like there was always like the goat of the assets making. I'm blanking on the name, but this dude would fucking like release big ass rock texture packs every week, and we're like, this dude has to be raking in the dough with the quality.
The rock guy.
Like here's
the rock.
here's a set of 20 rocks, and it's all different little formations and shit. And then he would put out a mossy version, or he'd put out an update where you could put snow on top. And it's like, dude, this guy has to be making a lot of money. Like, fuck, this guy's like, fuck game development. I'm just gonna work from home and just upload assets nonstop.
Yep, one of Joey's really good friends, I forget the name of the company, but their whole thing, they've gotten really big now, is photogrammetry.
Oh, photogrammetry.
Where they go out and they take pictures of stuff.
Yeah, it works for Epic, right?
I think so now.
Yeah.
And they just take things and turn them into these assets, and it's like, man, that is just, it's nuts that this is like.
Photogrammetry is really cool.
It is, and I mean, again, it just allows games to look so wild, man.
Anyway, it looks pretty cool. I mean,
It was cool. I won't play it.
Keep your expectations sort of in check, because we've seen a lot of games that look insanely cool like this, and they release and nothing works. Adam Nickerson says,
Hey,
do I wear sunscreen if I never go outside?
Actually, yeah. If you're next to a window, you should actually wear sunscreen. So
I don't wear sunscreen. I mean, I put face lotion on, and I shower.
How is that sunscreen?
Daily.
Sunscreen though. So good for anti-aging stuff. That's sun is very damaging for your skin. You should wear it.
Me and Andy were in LA last week, and we walked out of the hotel, and when there's...
And Andy just pulled out this big reflective thing and just...
I wish that's what happened. Instead, Andy found the one little ray of sun, walked away from me about 15 feet, and like Portillo used to do, when one thing of sun would go through, Andy just goes through and starts going like this. He's like, I saw this on TikTok.
So what on TikTok? It's
just this positivity guy who's like, if you're having a bad day, just get in the sun and you'll get the natural rays. I don't know. It's just, I believe a lot of bullshit.
I was gonna say, is it?
I've been hanging out with Mike a lot.
Is this like that? Do you remember when sunbathing your taint was a thing?
No.
Like sunbathing your butthole.
Oh yeah. That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, like a bunch of wellness people trying to be
It doesn't work, by the way. We got a question from AJ Hawk says, I saw the OG Switch that came with Odyssey. Yes, absolutely upgrade. They're asking if they should upgrade for Tears of the... Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if you are excited for Tears of the Kingdom in a way that you're like, this is an event for me, and you have the means, and you are planning to play that game handheld, get the OLED.
Absolutely.
The OLED is a transformative experience handheld. And if it's docked, don't worry about it. But if you're playing on launch, it's gonna be a little rough. But again, if it's docked, I don't think it really matters. You should be fine.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be playing handheld, the OLED is really, really nice. But we did just spend an hour today talking about the story of the Switch seems to be ending its kind of life cycle.
Help Nintendo out, help them out.
They need
They're
it.
struggling.
Yeah, let's get them numbers up.
They're on a liquidation sale right now. Poor guys over there. Andy, who's winning Game 5, Lakers or Warriors? I think Lakers are winning 4-0 or 4-1. I think they end the series. Thank you for the question, Matthew. Bear King says, Lucy, you were a Sega kid? Hello, by the way.
I was not a Sega kid. I was a PlayStation and PC kid. Yeah, didn't have.
When you say you're a PC kid, what does that mean?
My dad had a PC, and occasionally I was allowed to play games on it.
But what games? What were your you see?
Warcraft,
Tomb Raider. I mean, no, this is going back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Old Tomb Raider. Even though it was more PlayStation, we would play a bunch on PC. We played Doom, Quake, and then I got The Sims, and it was all over.
Yeah. Tales old as time there.
Yeah.
The Sims is definitely one of those things that's like, son, I need the computer.
No. I'm downloading mods. Don't ask questions.
Oh no, I was not that advanced at all.
Oh, I was big into the Sims modding scene.
The scene.
The Sims genuinely.
Sims ModCon 2006.
Do you know how much custom content was made for Sims 1? I remember getting super stoked because there was this one mod where for kids' beds, it was a mod where the parent would tuck them in. and I couldn't get it to work, and I was devastated.
Oh,
So I was
no.
like, well, now my game is ruined.
My
I
kid's
just
not
picture
talking.
Lucy in The Sims running around as Legolas. Buckskin Stud with a $5 super chat says, "Long live the Kind of Funny Squad and Lucy's gang too, I guess. LOL. But do all of y'all think there will be knockoff lightsabers in Starfield?"
Huh, that's a great question. Doesn't seem like it.
What is he having?
There is
Crypto
suggestive
Protocol?
sex, though. You hear about this?
I think it's more of like a
With the
descriptive
jetpacks.
sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it's wild. You know, maybe next time we'll do it without jetpacks.
The line.
What is that?
That's
It's
the
a
line.
line
from
that they
Starfield.
say in the game.
No, yeah, Barrett was telling me, but like, is it? What is jetpacks insinuating to?
Like
But
doing
they
it
had
in
sex wearing jetpacks.
Oh, I thought jetpacks was like a condom kind of thing.
Wait,
Hey, do you
so
think-
hold
wait,
on. Hold on. Rewind just a little bit here. You thought that in Starfield, they're like, that was some great sex. But next time, let's fuck without rubbers.
Let's go bareback.
I thought maybe that's what they called it in the future. Like it was just like like you got Cyberpunk with chooms and eddies and all this sort of stuff. Like they got their
Yeah,
lingo.
Like, oh yeah. Hey, baby, you got any of those jetpacks? Go later tonight. Jetpacks, if anything, would be like a Viagra, not a.
Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, baby, I don't have any jetpacks. Like, who cares? I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Wait, but Lucy, you made a hand motion when they were talking about it. Do you think they're using the jetpacks while they're having sex?
Well, I was trying to think of like maybe they were.
Oh, like an upside down sort of like
Yeah,
they're
like-
eagles?
Yeah.
just like eagles.
Kevin, I'm
I was
going
thinking
to
the
need
same
you to
thing.
explain a little more there.
I was thinking the same thing, Kevin.
Eagles make love like as they're flying. They like dive. It's very impressive.
It's really magical. It's really magical. NewJohnPlus with the super chat says, "Just got the special Zelda Switch and I love it. What's your favorite collector's edition console?" I've often said this. It's the OG Xbox, the green clear one.
Oh, that was
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of the N64's Fun era where they did all of the translucent. I mean, the Atomic Purple, like, come on, it's just it's perfect. But the see-through teal N64 for me was, I never owned it, but I loved it. And then as well, Game Boy Color, that teal, anything with teal, I'm gonna be a big fan of. But in terms of collector's edition, I've never been more hyped. And the only, I think, collector's edition console I ever bought was the GBA SP that was the NES Anniversary Edition. So the clamshell Game Boy Advance and it looked like a NES. Woof, hot.
Oh, you lose.
Got the PS4, the Spider-Man PS4 is pretty nice.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
okay.
nice.
Ooh, yeah.
But do you guys remember they used to make armor for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3?
No.
No.
Okay, Kevin, I'm gonna need you to Google this.
It's armor with a U for sure.
Yeah, they made Mass Effect armor game like console covers, and so I had, and it was gifted to me. Like ad from 12 years ago.
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations are up on that. I think
I
it's okay. FTC won't come after you.
I had the N7 armor, and it was on my Xbox 360.
I need a visual of this because
Yeah.
I'm
Is it like a
little scared.
skin?
No.
It's like an actual like hardware PC put on.
Yeah.
Because
You
armor
basically had
implies
to-
some 3D.
Yeah.
It was, and I'm amazed that my Xbox didn't,
Overheat,
completely
yeah.
overheat
Yeah.
it.
I'm
But
having trouble finding it.
me,
Mass Effect's armor N7 Xbox is what I wrote.
Mass
I'm
Effect
adding a U to armor.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
armor Xbox cover.
What about you, Andy? Any collectors?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd say
you already said.
I would say the Xbox One. I also really enjoyed I think it was was it the Halo Reach 360, the silver one with like kind of blue accents?
Oh my God, that
Possibly,
was hot.
I think that
'Cause
that
was
one's really
back
nice.
when the Xbox 360 Elite was a thing.
Yeah.
Kevin, it is the Caliber 11 Xbox case Mass Effect, and it looks worse than I remember.
Oh, yes,
no.
yes. I can't wait
Yeah,
to
there
see
it is.
this.
Yeah, this seems like a bad idea.
Well, I mean, it looks good, but
My
I.
internet's not working here all of a sudden.
Oh, great.
Give me
Well,
1 second.
We don't
But I
need
mean-
that here.
We'll bring it up. I'll ask the next question right here.
Wait, no, real quick.
Oh, okay.
Shout outs to the 20th anniversary of PlayStation.
oh, that was
Absolutely.
sick.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah,
winner.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
and it had the sound when you boot it up. That was real good.
Oh man, yeah, this is not this is not what I would call pretty.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
It's a lot less impressive than you think.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh, but like that when you. I thought it was gonna be armor for the hardware,
No,
not
it's
just like the
just a
man's
chess
armor
piece.
on the hardware.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Talk about
I-
software, huh?
I straight up just expected a color schemed like a phone case would be on a phone, but
Yeah.
then here's like the red stripe and the red and white stripe on the
No.
side. No,
No.
wow, that is
Wow.
horrid.
Horrid is a good one. Also, on the 360, like a system that had overheating issues. Like,
That's real bad. That's
oh,
real
I
bad.
love that. The centerpiece of Lucy's
Yeah.
living room.
Did not get laid.
Adam Ginther says if the successor to the Switch comes out comes out past the next year, how do you think its performance will compare to Steam Decks?
I think that is such a apples and oranges thing that like I don't think you can compare how it will run compared to Steam Deck. I think Steam Deck is so much more of a inherent PC that like the way it runs things I just think is different than how Nintendo treats its system and how the computer stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I know that when within my hands, there's a difference. You know what I mean, Andy?
I mean, those early rumors of NVIDIA being heavily involved to kind of integrate DLSS and stuff like that sounds about right. But then I know that later on NVIDIA kind of pulled out of that deal, so I don't fully know what's happening there, and nobody knows, obviously. Like it feels like all those rumors are several years ago by now. But yeah, I'd assume that you will be able to run the latest games at 60 frames per second. Like that's all I can really say. Like
Yeah.
I don't,
Straight up like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would be big.
Huge. I don't know. I mean, I think they're obviously gearing it to more of Nintendo's own software needs rather than third party.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All I want, literally all I want, and this
All
is
I
such
want?
a simple ask, and it doesn't affect that much. I just want the UI, just the main menu, to be in 4K.
Oh.
That's all.
I would love.
I just want a better battery.
I would love themes.
Themes would be nice, but at the end of the day, I've learned about myself. I'm just not a theme guy. I used to be a theme guy, but I'm a simple and clean. Like I want the basic minimalist look anyway. So I got a dark mode. I'm like, am I really gonna change it if they added a theme that I get to, I don't know, like have pipes everywhere? I don't want pipes everywhere.
He doesn't want pipes everywhere. But
No pipes.
You laying pipe, Andy?
you try to get the pipe? J.R. Smith reference for people in chat if people know the NBA. Evan Olmstead, $2 super chat says, think Silksong shadow drops at Xbox Showcase? Oh, don't get me.
Oh, don't.
Don't do this to me.
For the love
Evan,
of God,
I was having a
for-
fine day, and you just royally fucked it up
They
right now.
said it's gonna be a year. Everything in this showcase will be there within the year.
Well, I mean,
They've
he also
already
said on
said
the
it. Yeah, we
XCast,
fucked
like,
up.
Oh yeah, he
we
did say that,
really
didn't he,
ruined
huh?
that.
Yeah, I think that it is a very, 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 very low percent chance. Like we've seen that shadow drops don't necessarily like work. I think Hi-Fi Rush is a little bit against what I just said. Like that's an example of something happening. Whereas I think there's a difference here though, where this is a known quantity. Like Hi-Fi Rush got that rush of promotion that it wouldn't have had otherwise, that I think any marketing cycle couldn't have garnered that new IP, new exciting moment. Here it's on Game Pass right now, play it. Whereas Silksong, I feel it would be to its detriment to shadow drop it like that.
I think you're fucking crazy. I mean, I don't think it'd be to its detriment. I don't think it'll happen, but I think if it does drop, it'll be a massive sort of internet moment, like, because we've been talking about this forever. This has been, like, I think it'd be equivalent to Last of Us Factions getting released. Like, that's sort of like out of nowhere, bam, here it is. Not being released, but a shadow drop sort of thing the next time that Naughty Dog does show off something. Like, I think it has that sort of cachet to its name.
It does, but I'm just saying in terms of like it, because it has that cachet, it doesn't need that boost. I think that just its name and a proper marketing push for that game will do way more wonders than the shadow drop benefit, specifically timing wise, where that would then be releasing in the eye of the storm of Diablo and Street Fighter and Final Fantasy 16 and everything else coming out.
Squid Kuma says, holy shit, did Tim just mention Hi-Fi Rush for the first time?
I did. There you
God,
go.
Diablo 4 is going to be so good.
Oh,
Are you
so
playing Diablo 4?
Am I? I will be. I will be.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm excited. And I'm not even like a really big Diablo guy, but I enjoyed the beta quite a bit.
Beta.
Beta.
All right, we got to like kind of rush through these last several ones. Thank you, by the way, for all your support with the super chats for our super chat that we're having right now. $5 from Jay Dizzle says RE4 or Dead Space Remake. Curious to know which one of you to know which each of you enjoyed more. Jesus, it's a struggle this morning, Tim. I haven't played through RE4 all the way. I will through Halloween because that's going to be a spooky time. But I can't believe how much I loved Dead Space Remake. Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I love Dead Space Remake. But Resident Evil 4. I think because
one has Ada Wong.
It's true.
It's very true.
It's true.
She has a grappling hook. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Gun to my head, I would say Dead Space.
Yeah, gun to my head, I'm going Dead Space. But like,
wow,
there's something like RE2 remake so far. I've not beaten remake for 4 yet. I'm still working through it. I freaking love it. I do think that it's a better game, but there's something about Dead Space that is just like, it is the pinnacle of that type of game. Whereas
so
like
focused.
Resident Evil 2,
Jesus.
I enjoy the zombies and I enjoy the police station and all of that. And I always had more than Resident Evil 4. But this is like yesterday we were talking about Metal Gear Solid, where Greg and I were like, Metal Gear Solid 3 isn't our favorites, but I know it's most people's. But it's like, that's not saying we don't utterly love that game.
Yeah. I think it sounds like you hate Resident Evil, Tim. That's fucking crazy. $10 from Ryan Lang. He just left $10. So thank you, Ryan Lang, for the super chat. Sky Forsland, $10 as well. Says, I love Souls games, but I can only play them when my friend carries me through each boss. Do you think the next game should have full co-op, or would that kill the spirit of those games? AKA in parentheses or in quotes, get good. I don't know. I think that they do things their own way to their detriment sometimes. They very much remind me of Nintendo, how Nintendo just kind of does whatever, and Sony in some capacity just like they do shit and you're like, why would you do that? Why not? You know, like I feel like it's like this is our way and you're going to accept it. Unless they were making a super focused, this is meant to kind of be played co-op, then I don't really see that kind of built into the DNA of their future titles. But like it'll be there as an option.
Yep.
You just got to go talk to the tree, and that tree drops a stone for you, and then you take that stone in the lake, and you drop the stone in the lake of Galmendorf, and then Galmendorf pops out of the lake. He's like, "Would you like to invite a friend?
Hello, Galmendorf.
Would you like to invite a friend here?" And you say, and you invite him in or whatever, and your friend has to join in. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think, yeah.
About Balmendorf?
No, I think From's going to do their own thing. I don't necessarily see a complete co-op experience, just because I think, I don't know, the way that they design encounters seems very specific to one person with an assist. It's not really a co-op thing.
That's how I feel about Sekiro. A lot of people are talking about the Sekiro mod. And it's like, but like, Sekiro more than any of the other Souls games is like, or FromSoft games it's a mono 1v1. Like it's a duel to the fates. I'm parrying you, you're parrying me. It feels weird to kind of change the formula of that. Ryan Lang, another $5 says,
Thanks, Ryan
do you
Lang.
feel like shader compilation is an urgent concern in PC gaming industry? It has become a PR problem, but little has been done to fix the issue. I really hope that it becomes more and more on the forefront of developers' minds, and I hope that Digital Foundry continues to become insanely popular, so that for the same reason why I want Greg to keep up with his PC character, so that developers will be like, we can't get roasted by Greg. We have to like release a good PC port. I hope that it kind of like is more of an urgent thing because of how PC sales are doing really well. It's like, well, come on, fucking release good shit.
Andy Cortez, if it's not like I don't know, but for people out there that don't know, what is a shader compilation?
A shader compilation, you always experience shader compilation stutter whenever you see things in the game that haven't really been loaded in yet. So like, for example, if you were to play a not so legal version of Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
in various means, right? Anytime you see a new kind of shader in the world or material or like texture or whatever, it takes a while to load that in. And then now anytime you see that desert wall and that water and that one shader that pops up whenever an enemy dies and you see like a ping a little like shine or whatever. Anytime you see that, you won't have that issue again. But it's always like the first time encountering issues, you'll see that. So that's why whenever you play games like Warzone, it starts off with, we are compiling shaders, because it like doesn't want you to experience that stutter. It wants you to it wants to load in everything at once, so that it's kind of like the layman's way of saying it. But yeah, you won't ever, anytime you see a new texture, suddenly stutter. But yeah, I hope that takes priority and we start to see good PC ports, because it's been a while. Final super chat from Len Art says, thank you, Len Art, by the way, says, did you see and react to the unrecorded game trailer? We didn't react to it, I don't think, but we talked about it.
It on Games Daily. Yeah. You can check that out. It was
What's that, the body cam?
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's that one in particular is like super uncomfortable. I think the horror version of it that we saw, where it was like found footage type thing in the woods, that one I think would make for a great concept. But it was just like, it felt really real, you know?
I don't like it. It made me uncomfortable. Visually stunning, but yeah.
It just reminded me of like being a kid and watching like awful videos that would get released on like, you know, whatever.
Rotten.com.
Yeah, Rotten. Yeah, shit like that. Yeah.
Or at least these days on Twitter.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a sad point.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it for the little super chat that we just had. Thanks for watching, everybody. Lucy James, where can people find you?
On Twitter and everywhere at Lucy James Games. You can find me on Gamespot, Giant Bomb, and Friends Per Second.
Lucy James Games, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. Thanks for all your super chats. And next on the stream, you asked for it. Nick Scarpino's playing through Mass Effect 1 for the very first time. It was, if not, I think it was the highest voted thing on the Google form that I put out the other week. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a nice little romp through the galaxy with Nick Scarpino right after this.
Yo, what the heck is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to, as Andy affectionately put it, my romp through the galaxy, or at least the beginning of my romp through the galaxy, because I'm going to start my Mass Effect 1 playthrough right now. Andy will be joining me. Kevin will be joining me. Kevin, how do you feel about romping today?
I love romping.
That's going to be great.
Romp him? Is that what they're called?
Romp him?
Yeah, it's a romper. For
a boy, like a men's romper?
Yeah.
I think you could just call it a romper.
Yeah,
but romp him does sound fun.
You want to be cute about it, you know?
Sure. I'd like to start wearing more rompers. I'd like to start wearing more jumpsuits. And I'd like to wear the romper, of course, is the jumpsuit with just the shorts. And I feel like SnowBikeMike would be great with that. But for me, personally, I want to either start wearing the workman outfit that Michael Myers wears when he kills people.
I don't know.
Or the jumpsuit,
the
jumpsuit that Ripley wore in Aliens 2, which is fucking on
that's cool.
Fire.
Are you gonna wear the like high socks and like the cool Reebok sneakers?
The badass Reebok pumps, sure.
Yeah. Ooh, I want those. Nick, if you start wearing that, I'll buy a matching outfit.
Okay, cool. I think that would enter us into a new phase of our friendship if we just started matching.
Absolutely. 100%.
And then we somehow we have to figure out how to get Tim to match us without him knowing he's matching us.